Hi, Katie. This is new, and I don't know if it's too corny. Milestone police. Okay, first of all, army crawling is not a milestone. And because your child's in a helmet, we also have some warnings going on. So I needed you to pay attention because there's things that you'll need to do and maybe should have done, and it's not being done. So when you make statements or someone makes a statement that their child's working on a milestone, they don't work at anything. The true point of development is they're only responding to stimuli. Even a 4-year-old, they're only responding to stimuli. You know, you might call it a tablet, you might call it the phone, they're only responding to stimuli. And they go through these stages of how they can work with stimuli, but that's all they're doing. So the stimuli is like, I see a ball, I want it. But first of all, you have a helmet. A helmet has to be taken care of, is very important. First of all, you need to be working with an ophthalmologist because a helmet, if not done right, formed right, can change the ocular orbit of the eye. Again, you're changing the shape of the cranial bones. And then also all the cranial bones are meant to move, and that's what creates development. When the skull fuses, right, this is between 9 to 18 months, that's why you're walking within this stage. So when the cranial is movements are done, and then your child starts going into more cognitive skills like talking and going there. But the ultimate for optimal development is before the skull fuses, that the milestones have hit up until walking, the cruise walk. And so when you have a helmet, right, you're already dealing with plagiocephaly in some thing. But also what you don't think of is a helmet to you and I, we pick it up at 6 ounces. But to a 16-pound baby, that's equivalent of a 150-pound person wearing 5 pounds 4 ounces on their head. And also when they're lying down, the width of the helmet that affects that. And also depending on where the helmet is at, and these videos aren't included, it creates issues with peripheral vision. Right? And I have videos on that, so I'll try and post up as I can. But please, 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 when you're dealing with the helmet, again, it needs a team, right? It's not something to be taken lightly. It's just we're changing head shape. We could be changing your child's development, right? And that's what we're after, because the way that the head lays down, now in relationship to the spine, they can become also too, one of my kiddos, he turned into a crash test dummy. Now, he was doing movements that he shouldn't be moving because he would have gotten hurt, but because the helmet was on, he was just and I told her outright, I said, when this child's 16, he's going to be jumping off the Grand Canyon, because his senses, his proprioceptive responses to movement and to pain and spatial orientation were totally changing due to this helmet. You know, he was just dive bombing off the bed for a good time because he had a helmet on. You know, you don't do that to an 8-month-old, but you know, this kid was doing it and he was getting away with it. So that doesn't happen all the time. Again, when I talk, guys, sometimes I do go off on the extremes, but the extreme happened to me. I don't want the extreme to happen to you. So I'm not trying to say it's going to happen, but I'm just going to put up a little antlers. Like, it's a lot of times when I teach, especially my segment trainings, you know, right now what I'm teaching you today might not mean anything, but 2 weeks from now or 3 months from now or even 2 years from now, oh, what'd she say about that? I know she covered it. And I cover it. And so that's going on. So first of all, we need to work on better foundations. We didn't even get a good rolling over at 2.5 to 3 months. So what's happening is that he's rolling over and trying to crawl versus coming to sitting through his back. I know he didn't do that. I know there's difficulty grabbing the feet. I really would strongly suggest you get into the baby support program, because you get the support, but you also get all the courses that you need. I know everybody wants to go forward, but in your case, we really need to build a better foundation, because again, we've got some big gaps in the milestones that are going on. So medically, again, I would suggest you work with your ophthalmologist or a cranial specialist, not just the person that's fitting for the helmet, making sure the ocular orbits are intact, because we don't want to shift this. I would like you to work in the courses, the head and the vision, because the helmet's going to give a heavy head, and again, keep the child low to the ground, and it's also going to create plagiocephaly in general. You and I, everybody can do this right now, right, Christina? Try and tighten these muscles right behind your head. Just try to tighten them. You can tighten muscles around it, or crunch, but you can't tighten those muscles. Those muscles are meant for your vestibular, and they go down throughout your spine. They're part of your fine motor skills in your spine, not your gross motor skills. And so this kind of thing. And so, but with what happens with certain, or I should say most plagiocephalies, but certain ones, but that now, because of the way that the head shape happened, now you can contract those muscles and you get this here movement. And so again, what I'm looking at here with my vision with you eventually kind of thing, you get more of these grandiose head movements with that, because that's what they're used to, because they're literally picking up and lifting the helmet, and the weight of the helmet will affect their mobility, as in crawling and going into those vertical milestones. And so the head and the vision, and I'd like to make sure, rule out, you've got a good foundation rolling over both ways and it's done right, and start building off of that coming to sitting, the pubic bone strike. All of these things are just not being covered in your son's development. Thanks. Good morning, Caroline. Nice talking with you today. See ya.